Well, living in this bush capital means we have an inevitable connection to nature, including an array of animals that can appear right on our doorstep. What's also surprising is the range of animal artwork in the capital. All manner of shapes and sizes can be found around the suburbs in some obvious and sometimes some not so obvious places. Dr Sandra Burr has the task of documenting all the weird and wonderful items. She took Adam Shirley on an introductory tour.
We are just blessed with an enormous array of animal art, all forms, all kinds of media, all types of animals from domestic to native to mythical to anything you can think about is represented somewhere in Canberra. This is a piece called Bushpack, Nil Tenure by Amanda Stewart. And it was commissioned in 2011 and put here in Civic. I absolutely adore this piece. I love it because she's captured the dogs so perfectly, because she's captured the movement, and because of where they're positioned. It's a very volatile, aesthetically beautiful, almost threatening piece. People are sort of threatened by the presence of wild dogs in the middle of the city. On the other hand, they're really drawn to the beauty and the aesthetic charm of these pieces. This beautiful mural was done by two artists called Duncan and Waterman. It's a ceramic mural in the foyer of the Perpetual building in Rudd Street. They're slightly stylised. They're just a little bit longer in the body than you would expect. And they all have the same sort of stern expression, so you get the feeling that they're looking down at intruders, that you're not totally welcome in their space, or they're curious to know what you're doing here. Unless you know it's here, you don't really see it. So while it's huge, it's sort of hidden. I love also that it's in amongst the glass, and so that gives it a multiplier effect. When you look from the outside, you see a lot of owls, but when you look from the inside, you just see the one wall. We're at the Ainslie Shopping Centre, and these sculptures in this shopping centre were made by Martin Moore. He's an English-trained sculptor, and he now resides in Australia. The range of animals reflect animals that are native to the ACT. One of the great things about this installation is it's set right around the shopping centre, so you're always coming around a corner and coming face to face with the eels, which are just beautiful. They're so comical. The fish is so tactile. It's a big, beautiful, you can almost feel its muscles. I love the frogs with their long legs and their beautiful toes extending down. I don't think I've ever met a bird sculpture that I didn't like. The snails are divine, so I love them all. They're beautiful. I suspect if you looked in other cities, you'd find quite a lot of animal art, but because Canberra's smaller and everything's closer, it's easier to see them and easier to find them. And so they have more of an impact. I think there's a lot of humour in art in Canberra, a lot of whimsy. If you think about Ainslie's sheep in the middle of the city, that is a really funny work of art. And yet it's really significant because it ties into the history of Canberra. And then if you go to Dixon, you see another representative of sheep altogether, like these little round balloon, almost Mexican-looking sheep. So there's a variety. Here we are in a semi-industrial part of South Canberra, Colby Court Phillip, surrounded by all kinds of little businesses and little industries and tyre fitting places. And we've got this gorgeous painting of a South American macaw on the side of a building, which is in fact a toilet block. All four sides have got different birds on them. We've got exotics and native birds. And the colour green sort of blends in because it's in the middle of a little park, so it's a small oasis. We're behind the New Zealand High Commission, parallel to Commonwealth Avenue, and tucked away on the lawns here is this little herd of cows grazing peacefully. Up close, they just look like a whole lot of bits of iron all squashed together and held together with staples and randomly painted, but when you step away from them and see them In perspective, they're just beautiful representations of cattle. It just works so well. They were part of a festival in Canberra, and they were so popular with people that the Commission decided to buy them and install them. I just think we just have a need to do it, an affinity for it, a love of animals. I mean, if you look at these kangaroos, it's the tactility, it's being able to get up close to them. A lot of our art's really interactive. We're not discouraged from touching it and being amongst it, so just to be able to run your hands over a little kangaroo's muscle is just beautiful. I think it says a lot about the human need to have animals in our lives. We've got a really long association, a really strong bond with animals that just seems to be unbreakable.